The beginning of the universe hides countless stars. Are the stars that are attracted to each other going to end up somewhere? In 1691, the great scientist Newton gave to another scientist at that time. Authoritative thinker Richard Bentley wrote a letter. In this letter, Newton pointed out that there were only a finite number in the universe of stars. Then these stars will eventually fall into one due to the attraction to each other. Center point. But on the other hand, if the number of stars is infinite and roughly equal, evenly distributed in an infinite space, then the star cannot fall to a point, because at this time it is with a star. Base. There is no such thing as a settlement center. It's also easy to properly consider the state of an infinite number of stars. That is, to think about the limited situation first. In a finite space, the stars will be separated by each other due to gravitational attraction. And so on, and so on, and one comes to the conclusion that it is impossible to construct a stillness, a model of the infinite universe of states. Because gravity is always an attraction, the universe is in motion. This conclusion from the law of gravity makes you believe in the universe. Ian. The people who exist eternally in an unchanging state are amazed. But something even more surprising is yet to come. Generally speaking, in an infinitely static universe, almost every line of sight, lines or each edge, will terminate on the surface of a star, so people will see the whole sky as bright as the sun. This is true even at night. But that's not the case. So to avoid this, we can only assume that the stars are not there forever. Luminous. The view is that the universe had a beginning. In the book of Genesis, St. Augustine sets up the creation of the universe. It was about 5000 BC. And then Edwin Hubble's discovery finally brought the idea to the table. Scientific basis is provided. In 1929, Edwin Hubble completed an epoch-making observation. No matter which direction you look, distant stars are moving away from our galaxy at a rapid pace. It means that the universe is expanding. This also means that at some point in the past, the celestial bodies were tightly clustered together. Soon the doctrine of the Big Bang arose, and it was proposed that once one existed. It's called the Big Bang moment. At that time, the universe was infinitely small, the density was infinite, and after the Big Bang, the universe was evaporated. Gradual expansion. It's just created in a way that makes it look like it's been a Big Bang. But in any case, it is unintentional to imagine that the universe was created before the Big Bang. Righteous. The Big Bang universe did not reject the existence of the Creator but only for him. There are only restrictions on when you can do it. From this point on, religion and science have finally come to an agreement. The high sky on a clear night is a silver-white ribbon, shaped like a heavenly river, so it is called the heavenly. Ancient times. When the Chinese found that silvery white band of light in the sky, people felt it was like a big river flowing through the sky. That's why it's called Tianhe. And for people all over the world, this silvery white band of light in the air is one. Straight are beautiful and mysterious. One cannot explain its existence from a scientific point of view, but can only resort to form. Myths and legends of lust. Some American Indians say something even more magical. They believed that the celestial river was the path to heaven after the death of a brave warrior. The bright stars on the side of the road are campfires in a makeshift resting place of the deceased on the way. Compared with these myths and legends, ancient Chinese myths and stories about the Milky Way, it's even more romantic and touching. Thin clouds trick up the flying stars to spread hatred, and Yin Han is super ultra dark. This sentence of the Song Dynasty lyricist Qin Guan vividly wrote the Cowherd and Weaver Girl quilt. The heavenly river obstructs the sight of not being able to meet. According to legend, the daughter of the Emperor of Heaven, the Weaver Girl, fell in love with the Cowherd in the mortal world, but was killed by the sky. Emperor blocked. The Emperor of Heaven was furious and used a heavenly river to separate the Weaver Girl from the Cowherd to make him. It's hard to see each other across the river. Since then, the sky has had this heavenly river, and every 7th day of the 7th month, a kind magpie will build a magpie bridge over the Tianhe. Let the Cowherd and Weaver Girl meet on the bridge. It wasn't until 1609 that the discovery of the Italian astronomer Galileo was finally revealed. Opened the true face of this mysterious heavenly river. With the help of a homemade telescope, Galileo observed the famous constellation Taurus. The Seven Sisters, that is, the ancient Chinese Pleiades, which can only be seen by the naked eye. To 6 stars. But Galileo saw 36 stars through a telescope, and then he made another observation of that band of light, and found it in a telescope. This celestial river. Countless dense stars are presented. Thus, Galileo confirmed Democritus' view that the galaxy was not other. Rather, it is a large collection of countless stars that converge in groups. Now people know that the heavenly river in the sky is actually where our Earth is. Of the Milky Way, some specific shapes are presented. So in what spatial range are stars evenly distributed? Distance. How are the stars arranged? That's what we're going to talk about next, which is galaxies. It's like islands dotted in the blue sea. Of the universe. Dotted with galaxies are dotted around. Galaxies are the largest islands in the universe. One of the most beautiful celestial systems. The word galaxy is originally derived from the Greek word for galaxy. In the case of the Milky Way, which we are in, a galaxy is a galaxy that contains stellar gas. Body of interstellar matter. Cosmic dust and dark matter and massive mass systems bound by gravity. Typical galaxies range from dwarf galaxies containing tens of millions of stars to those that do. An elliptical galaxy of trillions of stars. There are also hundreds of millions of galaxies like the Milky Way, which are called extragalactic galaxies. Empty giant island. Astronomers estimate that the total number of galaxies in the observable universe is large. That's more than 100 billion. Some of them are closer to us, and we can clearly observe that the structure has. Some are very far away. The farthest galaxies are nearly 15 billion light-years away. Galaxies are classified primarily based on their visual shape. Summer nights many times a white silk appears in the air. That's the Milky Way. In the galactic world, there are a lot of galaxies like the Milky Way. They have a spiral structure in appearance, with a spherical bulge at the core. That is, the nuclear sphere. The appearance of this nuclear sphere is a thin disc-like structure from the center of the galaxy's disk. Several long spiral arms are wrapped outward. Galaxies that seem to even fragment into several parts, they are called irregular. Galaxy. Note, Photometry is the total energy radiated per unit time on the surface of a celestial body. It is the true luminous power of celestial bodies. Van den Boe found that the shape of a galaxy's spiral arm is related to its brightness, i.e., the greater the luminosity. The longer the high swing arm, the more stretched it is. Conversely, the darker the luminosity, the less stretched the spiral arm is. Based on this, he added the luminosity class as a second on the basis of the Hubble classification. Parameters. Divide the different galaxies into 5 luminosity levels, i.e. I, 2, 3, 4V. In general, the size of galaxies varies greatly. Elliptical galaxies are between 3,300 and 490,000 light-years in diameter. Spiral galaxies are between 1.6 light-years and 160,000 light-years in diameter. Irregular galaxies are between 6,500 and 29,000 light-years in diameter. To analogy with the Sun, the mass of a galaxy is generally 1/1,000,000 of the mass of the Sun. The Small Magellanic Galaxy is a Canis star named after its discoverer. The department is named after the name of the constellation. In addition to this, the vast majority of extragalactic galaxies have a nebula cluster. The number of the table. On a large scale, the distribution of galaxies is nearly uniform, but from a small scale. Next discussion, Ancient China, Understanding the Milky Way and Solar System.